Hey, welcome back, geometry students. This is Mr. Crowett recording in his basement. So here we are. Glad to finally be back doing some math. I'm sure you guys are all excited to be back doing mathematics too. Um, I honestly don't feel like I am going to do a whole lot of teaching today, of at least not mathematics. We do have some stuff we need to do before we get to the end of the chapter, which will happen before the end of the quarter this Friday. But I thought it was more important for us today to take a look at um, how we're going to be doing this whole virtual learning thing. So if you're watching this video, that means you figured out how to find videos, which means maybe you found some of the rest of the stuff. But I'm going to go over to Schoology and take a look at what this looks like. So here in Schoology, you can see a lot of stuff that has been there before. I saw some of you have gone over to the Google Hangout and have checked in over there. Um, I'm not sure exactly how Google Hangout is going to work for us. That may just be something that is a little chat room if people have individual questions. I don't think it makes sense for me to do a lot of teaching or big class uh, lessons in something like that. I'll be using these videos for that mostly. The top link that I've got up here on Schoology, tips and tricks for online learning. That's a video that actually my friend Mr. Nelson put together. He's been doing credit recovery and online instruction for quite a long time, and so he's seen a lot of students that have been successful, and he's also seen a lot of students who have not been successful. And so he's got some tips and tricks for you to check out there if you haven't watched that video already. As for my organization, you can see that I've got a couple tests in the work down here that you don't have access to yet. In the perimeter and area folder, we've got the typical assignments, notes, and answer keys. I will be putting my videos in this notes folder. You can see we've got the perimeter and area quiz that I don't want you guys to have access to just yet, so I'm actually going to turn that off. Um, but then back in the main geometry folder, you can see that every day I've got a check-in. The one for today, the 3:30 check-in, that's for all three of my geometry classes. Very important that you, at some point today, go in. I've got it set up as a 0-point quiz. All I need for you to do is to go in. There's a single question. Just answer the question that I've got in there. And then I've got one for tomorrow. That's going to be how attendance is taken. I'm sure that a lot of your teachers are doing something similar to this. Basically, the school just wants to know that you are coming to class and at least checking in for each of your classes every day. So that's how I will be doing it with these single question check-ins. You also can see over here that you do have an assignment, but the first assignment's not going to be due until tomorrow. So if I'll maybe give just a brief introduction to the lesson, and if you want to go ahead and work on that tonight, if you've got a lot of time and you don't have a whole lot of work to do for your other classes, you can work on that. Otherwise, that will be due tomorrow. So that's the basic layout. I will be posting videos on pretty much a daily basis. We'll continue to have homework assignments. We will have a quiz coming up either at the end of this week or early next week that'll go out as your last quarter 3 grade, and we'll see how it goes at that point. The lesson for today, just a brief introduction I want to give you guys, is we're going to be doing irregular figures, which we've actually done a little bit already when we were doing circles and rectangles. The key thing that I want to show you is that I do not have formulas. I don't have the formula for the weird shapes that we're going to see because they're all different kinds of shapes. And so what we need to do is use the formulas that we know already: triangles, rectangles, trapezoids, circles, all the things that we've done already. And we're going to use that to figure out the areas of some irregular shapes. So for example, I've got this one. And again, I don't want to get too bogged down in mathematics today, but for something like this, there's a few different ways that we could split this up. I'll show you just a couple possibilities. One of them would be we could take this shape and I could divide it into triangles. There's a little triangle over there, and then maybe there's a triangle over here, And if we take this and break it up into shapes that we know, we could add up all of those shapes. And actually, I think this is going to be a little bit tricky because if I have a triangle over here, then I'm taking away from this one. So that maybe is not the best way to do this specific problem. For this one, I'm actually going to say maybe an easier way to do it is going to be to make a great big rectangle all the way around. And you can see the shortcoming of me trying to do this using a mouse instead of drawing on the board like I usually do. My lines are getting a little bit lumpy, so hopefully we can see what I'm trying to get across with this. But I'm trying to make a gigantic big rectangle around the whole thing. So we could look at this rectangle and say from one side to another is 12 units wide, and from the top all the way to the bottom is 10 units tall. And so we could say 12 times 10, the big rectangle is, let's see, 12 times 10, that would be 120 square units. And then I'll take away each of these triangles around the outside. And so this triangle is 2 units wide and 3 units tall. 1/2 base times height gives us an area of 3 for that one. This one, let's see, this one is 10 units wide, and the base we can say is 4 units. So 1/2 base times height on that one gives us 20. This one down here has a height of 6 and a base of 8. So 1/2 base times height on that one will be an area of 24. And then finally, this lumpy triangle over here has a base of 4 and a height of 7. So 1/2 base times height, let's see, that would be 14. And so to find the area of the irregular shape that we started off with, this shape here, we could take the 120, the area of the whole rectangle, and then take away 20, take away 24, 14, and 3. I'm just going to pull out my calculator here so I can do that. 120 minus 20 minus 3 minus 14 minus 24. And I got a total combined area for the shape that we're looking at. I got 59 square units. So that is the basic idea. Wow, that is the strangest looking 5 that I've ever seen. I'm just going to fix that up a little bit. So 59 square units for that shape. That's the basic idea. Tomorrow I'll have a couple other shapes that we'll take a look at. We're going to look at this strange looking shape. We've got the area of a shaded region similar to what we've done before. And then also we're going to take a look at the area of a section of a basketball court. But I'm going to save that for tomorrow. That's enough mathematics for today. Make sure you go to the check-in so that I can take attendance and verify that everyone has been here. Otherwise, if you have questions or concerns, certainly send me an email at my usual school email address. Otherwise, I will see you all virtually tomorrow. Bye-bye.